Welcome to MacVoicesTV. I'm Chuck Joyner, and I'm really glad you've joined me for a product profile of a little video camera that I'm really excited about, the Kodak Zi8. This is one of those carry around anywhere, anytime video cameras to put in your pocket. They're never going to take the place of a dedicated video camera like the Canon HV20 that I'm shooting this with, but they're very convenient and each generation seems to get a little better. For my money, this is the best choice out there going for a number of reasons. The first one, as you can see here, is the nice large viewing screen. It's not a postage stamp like some of the others. You've got a nice large screen to use to take the pictures and also to look at them after you're finished to see how well you did. But that's just where it starts. The second important thing, and it's a little difficult to show here, is that you have a microphone input on this, which means that you are not limited just to the built-in microphone that comes with it, and we'll talk about that a little later. But you can also connect a more dedicated microphone, and that expands its capabilities greatly. This is the only one of these kind of cameras in its class that has a mic input, and for me that's one of the differentiating characteristics. So let's take a look at some of the other great things and the capabilities of this particular camera. The Zi8 is very easy to understand when it comes to some of the real niceties of this little camera. First of all, you have a memory card compartment which allows you basically unlimited expandable memory, since you can pop a memory card in and out as you see fit. If you run out of one, just plug another one in. It also has a removable battery, which is another nice feature and not found on many other cameras of this quality. Just pop the back off and there you have the battery. So if you really decide you're going to use this on a long trip or an extended shoot, you can take a second battery along. You will have to charge it in the Zi8 and then swap them out, but it's a pretty easy process. Flip it back over and turn it on using the little recessed switch there. And as soon as it comes up, you see the screen resolutions that are available to you along, and you probably saw it flash there, with how much time is left on this particular card. We'll talk a little bit more about resolutions later, but suffice it to say that you have a widescreen VGA, a 720p with 60 frames per second, which is important for high-speed action such as sports and that kind of thing, and also a full 1080p mode. Not bad in a little camera like this. Tapping the menu button, and I'm not going to go through all of the items, but a couple of the highlights. In fact, one of the biggest highlights is that you have an adjustable volume control for the external mic jack, which is, as you can see right there, and I showed you that earlier. This allows you to set the sensitivity of the external mic, and that's no small consideration for either loud or soft environments. And again, we will show you a little bit of that later. This is the button, and I'd rather not do it if I can keep from trashing anything, but I can delete recordings if I want to. I also have the mode where just with one tap I can shift. Oh, and I also should mention this is a still camera as well. It will take stills if you wish. And then the playback mode, which will show you the various recordings you have on the unit, and we'll show you a couple of those in a minute. So that's a quick tour of the hardware. The joystick here allows navigation through the menus. It also allows zooming, which is pretty impressive on a little unit like this. You do have a limited capacity zoom, and we'll show you a demo of that in a little bit later as well. So overall, this is, I think, just as easy a camera to operate as any of the competition, but the expandability it has, the external mic port, the memory card, and the swappable battery make it superior to some of the other choices. I like to test video cameras in challenging environments. That means the first place I take any camera is to the front row at a show by my friends in both Kicks and Funny Money. When I say challenging, I mean challenging from both an audio and video perspective. Constantly shifting levels and colors of light from varying angles, lots of action, focusing on constant movement at varying distances, all make for a good test of video capability. As you can see, the Zi8 did a pretty nice job of handling everything thrown at it. Also important to note is that the Zi8 has built-in electronic image stabilization. That's one reason the video is as good as it is, and is a feature not found on most of the other cameras in this price range. And it does make a difference. Audio is another matter. The volume at these shows is loud, the kind of loud where you have to shout in the ear of the person next to you to even have a chance of being heard. Every handheld camera in this class that I've tried, with the exception of the Aptec AHD, either distorts beyond recognition or just simply shuts down, notably the iPhone. That's why I was excited by the external mic port in the Zi8, and just as important, the ability to set the external mic level. Much to my surprise, however, the internal mic and the automatic limiter in the Zi8 did a surprisingly good job of capturing the sound. No, it's not like having a line off the soundboard, but for what it is, it's more than acceptable, and best of all, it isn't distorted. I also mentioned that the Zi8 has a zoom. To be clear, this is a digital zoom, something you would normally stay away from. Given the class of camera, however, it's nice to have that 4x option should something come up you just want to get a little closer to. A quick note on resolutions. The samples you're seeing here were shot at 720p. I also shot some at 720p at 60 frames per second and some at 1080p. Based on these and other tests, the 1080p mode was frankly a little disappointing. It's as if the camera really couldn't keep up at that resolution. But both the 720p and 720p 60 frames per second were both very satisfactory. Rather than trying to ask you to decide here after it's been re-encoded for distribution, I'm going to post some short sample files, untouched other than being trimmed down to somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds, in the show notes so you can download and see those clips for yourself and see what you think. I also thought I'd give you something that's a little more normal in the way of video shooting, just a quick video pan about outside in a very cold central Pennsylvania. This also gives you an idea of how the mic works in a little bit of a breezy environment with the camera operator actually doing some of the talking. So let's go through the MacVoicesTV executive summary. This is the Zi8 video camera from Kodak, street price at $179 from Amazon. The video formats supported in this camera are 720p, 720p at 60 frames per second, 1080p, and WVGA. The pros? This is an HD video camera. And make no mistake, you don't want to invest in an SD camera right now unless you just are really looking for something super cheap, because we're all getting too used to HD video. It has a 2.5-inch display for shooting and viewing. It has an SD memory card slot, which basically means unlimited storage since you can swap the cards out. It has a removable battery, also important because that means that you can swap batteries and keep on shooting well beyond the hour and 15 minute limit that I was finding on the battery. It has an external microphone jack, which greatly expands the capabilities of the camera. And it has electronic image stabilization, something not normally found in a camera in this class. It also includes a 5.3 megapixel still photo capability. As I've discussed and demonstrated, the internal mic performs well in high volume environments. It can connect directly to an HD TV for viewing. It has a built-in USB connection and can upload to YouTube right from the camera with the included software. Some of the cons? Slightly larger than a few other options, just a little bit bigger than an iPhone. The zoom is digital, not optical. The external mic arguably is required for the best sound. That's going to depend on exactly what you're trying to shoot. And let's not kid ourselves, folks. This is not a replacement for a dedicated digital video camera. This is something you take in your pocket and shoot off the cuff. If you're really looking for top-level performance, audio and video, you're going to need something that costs a lot more than $179 street price. So that's the MacVoices TV look at the Kodak Zi8. As I said at the top of the show, it's the best little portable video camera for the money, in my opinion. It delivers more power and more versatility than anything else that I've had the chance to test out. Please visit the MacVoices TV website for links to everything we talked about, including, of course, the Kodak Zi8, to follow me on Twitter, and to see everything else that the MacVoices group is doing, because we're doing quite a lot, and we've got even more planned for the coming year. So until the next time, and as always, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. MacVoices TV is part of the MacVoices group and a member of Mac Level 10.